Hello, I'm Jessica Ryan Keeney. I am the Department of Child Support Services attorney for two small Northern California counties. I've been a family law attorney since December of 2009. What I'm about to say today is not legal advice. It's for educational purposes only. Always be sure to consult an attorney to make sure that what you've learned and are trying to apply to your case actually applies to your case. Go ahead, like the video, subscribe, click the bell so that you get notifications when we upload new videos. We sure appreciate you being here. So without further ado, today we're going to talk about disability. Specifically, what happens when a parent becomes disabled after a child support order is made, and what happens, this is temporary disability that we're talking about here. So I'm not going to go into great detail about the various types of disability, but we are briefly going to touch on them so that you understand the video. So there's government supplied disability, and that's disability that the government pays out to a person when they become disabled. So there's SSDI, also known as Social Security Disability Insurance. You may hear this called Title II disability. This is disability paid out after a person works a given amount of time and contributes to Social Security through their FICA taxes. Those are the taxes withheld by an employer from the person's paycheck. A person must also be disabled for at least a year and not be able to work at all, doing anything in order to get this kind of disability. Another kind of government supplied disability is SDI, also known as state disability insurance. California and some other states have state disability insurance, and this is generally available if a person's paid into the state disability insurance, again, through those taxes that get withheld from their paycheck, and the worker has a non-work related disability, and the disability is for less than a year. We've got SSI or SSP. So you may hear this called Title 16 disability, and this is need-based disability. So this is like public assistance for a disabled person or for a person who's over a certain age and meets the needs test or has certain medical conditions and meets the needs test. SSI is also known as Supplemental Security Income, and it's a federal program. SSP is known as State Supplemental Program, and it's a state program. Now there's Veterans Disability or VA disability, and this is disability that a person gets when they have a disability related to their service in the military. Then there's employer-provided disability. There's workers' compensation. We're not discussing that in this video. That is disability payments that a person gets for being disabled to some degree thanks to a work-related injury. Now, there are other types of employer-provided disability insurance, and those run the gamut. Then there's self-provided disability insurance. That would be something like AFLAC, something that the employee goes out, buys on their own to supplement their income should they become disabled. And those other employer-provided disability plans, those are kind of like AFLAC, but it's provided by the employer. So in our situation here, mom and dad got a child support order, and 3 months after they got that child support order, dad became temporarily disabled, and this was not related to a work injury. So this was a non-work related injury. His doctor expects him to be out of work for about 6 months. He was initially ordered to pay $1,000 a month in child support, and now that he's receiving disability and not his regular pay, he can't afford to pay his child support and pay for his living expenses. So he needs DCSS to stop collecting that $1,000 a month as quickly as possible, and he needs child support to be modified as quickly as possible, and he needs it to be modified based on the income that he's currently receiving while he's disabled. So because father's temporarily disabled, he's receiving SDI, State Disability Insurance. When somebody becomes disabled, they're going to want to notify DCSS or the Department of Child Support Services as soon as possible. And while they're not required to use the medical disability verification form that I'm going to link in the description below. It's very helpful to use that form because it has all of the information that DCSS is looking for. And it's very succinct. Nothing's going to get missed if you put it on that form. Nice thing is you don't have to provide a bunch of medical records either. You take the form to your doctor, they fill it out. It's short and sweet. So I highly recommend using that form, even though it's not required. Again, I will link that in the description. You can get a copy of that form from your case manager as well at DCSS. In our situation, because Dad is on state disability and this is not a need-based program, it's not quite as important that Dad notify DCSS immediately of his disability, although courtesy dictates that he do that. But it is very important that Dad get a motion filed right away to modify child support, because he can only get child support made retroactive to the date that that motion is filed. So DCSS can file the motion for him, but because he's not receiving need-based disability payments, DCSS has 6 months to do the review and adjustment and get that new order. Well, in our situation, Dad should be back to work by then. That's way too long. Now, if Dad were receiving SSI or SSP, that's the need-based disability, then when he turned that disability verification into DCSS, DCSS would have 30 days to file a motion to modify Dad's child support order. If Dad's going to file his motion on his own, which he's probably going to decide to do because he can probably get it done faster than DCSS, he's going to want to notify DCSS ahead of time to make sure that they know that he's going to file his own independent motion. He's going to want to be sure to get DCSS served, to get mom served. He's going to want to be sure to attach proof of his current disability payments. He's going to want to be sure to attach proof of disability so that the court and mom and DCSS can all see Dad's evidence that he's disabled. He's also going to want to be sure to attach a child support calculation. And some courts are not automatically going to schedule Dad's hearing in the DCSS department. So he's going to want to make sure that he gets his hearing scheduled in the DCSS department. That's particularly important in my 2 counties in Lassen and Plumas, and some other counties in the state. Now, because Dad's receiving disability, his child support payments are going to be withheld from his disability pay. And that's okay. EDD, the Employment Development Department, will take care of that once they receive an income withholding order from the Department of Child Support Services. But unlike what can be withheld from Dad's regular pay, EDD can only withhold 25% of Dad's weekly disability payments to pay for child support. So if his child support order is higher than 25% of his weekly pay, he's going to have to independently make up the difference between what can be withheld from his pay stub and his actual child support order. How can Dad get DCSS to stop collecting that $1,000 a month as quickly as possible? Well, unfortunately, until that child support order is modified, they're going to keep collecting it. But the quickest way to get DCSS to stop collecting that $1,000 a month in our scenario is for Dad to file that motion to modify child support as quickly as possible. So there you have it. Some things to think about if you've got a child support order and you become temporarily disabled, especially if you're not receiving needs-based disability. I hope you liked this video. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I can't guarantee that we are going to answer them, and if we do, it will be for educational purposes only and not legal advice. If you would like to see any particular videos in the future, please go ahead, put those in the comments too. Can't guarantee we'll make those videos, but we might. And please be kind to everyone in the comments. No trolling, please. This is supposed to be a friendly, educational environment.